Hey, what's going on everyone? Jake Morgan, Shady Creek Marina, El Dorado, Kansas. I got another used boat walk around video for you today. In front of me here is a 2008 Premier 231 Castaway. This boat came out of Nebraska, set up as a fishing rig. I'm gonna do an overview of some of the features I like on this boat. There's some really good design points on the inside that I'm gonna touch on, and then give an overall idea of the condition on the boat. This is a used pontoon boat, so it's got some marks on the logs just from bumping into stuff, something like that, but I didn't see any signs of repair anywhere. I didn't see any signs of anything that needed repair, and I didn't see any major dents or deformities that would affect how the boat would potentially run down the lake. Well, starting in on this, I like that the docking lights are integrated in that front rub rail. That's a nice touch. I like how deep the ladder goes. Nice 5-step ladder. This is powered with a Mercury 90 horsepower outboard. I am going to start that up here in a moment. We have pulled the hours off of this digitally. They do match up with the hour meter in the boat very well. The exterior, cosmetic-wise, this is kind of the only spot that isn't, ideal. This is a replacement corner piece right here that does not match the other ones. I have not tried to see if I could find one that would match up with these. I imagine it's possible, but I hadn't looked yet. All right, I'm gonna hop in and fire this sucker up, let you listen to the engine and see it pump and run. I have gone through and tested all the functions on this. The navigation lights work, the anchor lights work, the aerator, the Livewell pump works, our stereo works, all 4 of our speakers work. It looked like our trim gauge was reading accurately, our RPM, our voltage. I hadn't got it on the water to test if the speedometer is reading. Yeah, we'll circle back to this. I'm just gonna go ahead and fire it up and go take a peek back there. The only thing that we had, I'll save this right here. The only thing that we had to do was reseal the steering on this. That's the only thing we had to do to get this thing ready for sale. I'm gonna let that run while I continue doing a walk around on the inside here. So this boat does have a freshwater reservoir with a washdown. That pump is kicking on. You can't hear it over the engine, but it is kicking on. You got 2 rod holders here in the rear, and you do have a 2-position battery switch. Your batteries are underneath this cover, which I don't know if it opens from this side. It doesn't look like it, but it does open up from the starboard side there. Oh, it opens from the bottom, that's why. So there's our batteries, and there's our pump. Pretty quick access to all that equipment. Fuel tank there on the backside. We'll go ahead and shut that. There's our fuel fill. I like that battery switch position because I was able to reach it from outside the boat. And here in the rear, we have 2 fishing chairs. One on the starboard side, one here on the port. The condition of these chairs look really nice. They could use scrubbed on a little bit, but there's no tears in them. The upholstery condition itself is good. I don't see any cracks in the plastic for the hinge and the seat base. All that looks nice. You have a 3-rod vertical rod holder there on the port side. The starboard rear fishing chair. This one looks in pretty good condition. As far as it goes for the upholstery, no tears. There's a little bit of seam separation starting right there, but who knows how long that's been there. Okay, design features that I like this double fold rear gate to make this clearance work right here. That is something I've never seen out of a pontoon boat before, and I think that is rather smart. It may be a little bit loud going down the water. I hadn't figured that out yet. I personally have not lake tested this boat, but to make this clearance work and that walkthrough, I like it. All right, I like that the Bimini top here does go down on these sides. I like that. Just offer a little bit more shade if you're at an angle to the sun during sunset. Over here on our starboard side, here's our rod box. We've got these dual latches here. You pull, you twist and pull. I may not be able to do that with one hand. There we go, twist and pull. So that does have a rod holder hung on the side there. Clip in and go forward with your rod tips. Some kind of quick storage there. You do have a measuring board up on top, and a flat surface. So we got 3 vertical, 3 in a box horizontal, and 3 more vertical up here. And you could probably fit more than 3 in there if you didn't use the tree. All right, we do have a table and a table base that is removable. I like how these seat hinges work. This is also something that I don't think I've seen out of a pontoon boat before. This style of seat hinge, I think, is rather slick. It looks easy to replace components if you needed to, and it looks strong, which is why none of these seat bases are broken here. I really like that. The previous owner does have a bungee cord on the inside of this. I think that was something he may have fought trailering, but that does come up there. If I were to own this boat, I would drop a trash can in there, and the reason for that is because you can access that same storage area from this side. I like that. That's something I don't see a whole lot of. Movable cup holder ottomans. I don't know, ottoman's the right word, but movable cup holder armrest. Same hinges that I like. This boat, the downside, in my eyes, the only downside to this boat really is that the top of the upholstery is sunburnt in some spots. So this is the port side couch there towards the front, towards that side entry gate. The rest of this looks good, but this lower mid-back section right here, if I can get that to show up, it's in shadow. That part right there, that's got a little sunburn to it as well. No, the seats are not gonna fall apart. It just is visually, you can see that it took some sun. The rest of the actual seat bases down here, the seat cushions where you seat your butt on, all of that looks in good shape. I mean, there's sunburn on this one, but the rest of them don't have them. As far as the stitching goes and the seams and everything, there's no marks in them. It's just they've took some sun. Same with this one. This is the seat in front of the driver's console. It's took some sun. Again, more storage underneath this with that same hinge style I like. You do have a Livewell. This one's pretty good sized. Up here in front of the driver's console, built into that front portion of the driver's console there, there is also a Livewell here in this rear console. This would be, you know, more of a bait well. It's considerably smaller, but they're both plumbed off that same pump. You cannot run them independently. And up here at the console, we do have tilt steering. I like these little cutouts for your feet. Down here, took me a second to find that, that is the switch for your bilge pump. And then I did run the rest of these switches like I said in the beginning of this video. The horn, the nav, and anchor lights, all of that works. The docking lights that I pointed out that were built into that rail up front, those work. The courtesy lights should be singular. There's only one, it's right there, and it does work. Right there next to it is your power plug for your trolling motor. Underneath here, you see the bottom side of that front Livewell. There is a auxiliary input or a flash input for a new iPhone there, hook into the stereo. The previous owner had me put his trolling motor batteries and his trolling motor and his fish finder in his new boat, his new Ranger fishing boat. And so that battery and that battery is where the 2 trolling motor batteries were stored, was underneath that console. And he had his graphs right here. So I'm gonna leave that little platform there until I have a reason to take it off for a customer, but that is where he had his 2 graphs. All right. Like I said, 236 engine hours, and that matches what we pulled digitally very well. got our 2 fishing chairs up here in the front. A couple pedestal consoles with some quick access storage and speakers, cup holders in the front. Does have a spare tire and wheel in here. We do have a half gate. It's ready for a trolling motor up there. And these seats are really nice. I like the reach down here on the side to lean it back. And then I hadn't quite figured it out, but I believe that these buttons in the armrest are hooked up to what's going on underneath. I need to play with that a little bit more when I got 2 hands. Those there. All right. There is a light right here facing downward on the Bimini. That is only going to be able to be turned on when you have your navigation or anchor light on. That is piggybacked off of the power to your anchor light. Boom, and then it can turn on. All right. I'm gonna shut everything off here. Turn the stereo up for a second for you. Nice, we get an advertisement. But yeah, all 4 of those worked and sounded good. I'll shut that off. This was kind of neat, this cup holder, but you pull it up, boom, you got a paper towel dispenser right there. Nice and easy to access. Next to the driver's seat over here, you have this little built-in pouch with some storage. It's just, I really appreciate a lot of the design on this. It's a cool boat. I like how it's laid out. It's neat. It's gonna make someone a good fishing rig, and if you don't want to fish off it, you don't have to. Just hop on in and go have some fun. 23 foot with a 90, you're probably not gonna be doing any skiing behind it, but if you're not after that and you just want a boat to go tool around in, this may be a good option for you. All right, folks, I'm gonna wrap this, man, 12 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this one up. Give me a shout if you think this is something you'd be interested in. We do full custom rigging here, so if you wanted us to put a trolling motor back on this, some batteries, fish finder, live scope, power poles, whatever you wanted, we can do it. I've done it before. So that's about all I got. Thanks.